We have the past, the present, and the future, but we often get stuck in one of it. And so I think it is important for us to know how to utilize each of those so it doesn't work against us but work to our favor. For example, some people are still stuck in the past, the bad experience that they had, or their trauma that leads them to still be afraid to allow the good things to happen in their life right now. Because they believe that is what they're used to, that is what it's like before. And so they're closed up to the possibilities that are happening currently in the present. And which is why I think it is important for us to process and reflect so we can heal the past so it doesn't affect the present and also the future negatively. Because we shouldn't hold on to the fear that was long, that was inflicted from what happened before, as the thing might not be happening right now anymore, but we're still in the fight or flight mode or the survival mode, because that's what we have to do back then in order to get through what it was before, but not to the extent that the fear dictate and prevent you from living your life right now. When you're so clouded with the bad things that happened before, you could not open your eyes and see what's happening right now. And so I think we need to learn how to let go of the past. That is not to say forget it completely, because it did shape us into who we are right now. Instead, we can let go of the pain, but take the lesson that it has taught us and move on, having this new knowledge and wisdom in you. Because even if you did make a mistake before, there is not much use to beat yourself up even now, knowing that you've already self-reflect and know that now with the knowledge that you have, you know it's a wrong thing, and the only thing you can do right now is to prevent yourself and not do that thing anymore right now or in the future. And so even the fact that you realize your mistake, you shouldn't blame yourself for what you did back then, because that's all you knew before. And the fact that you feel bad and realize right now is the step toward improvement, because then you can finally change to be better and learn from that. And so I think the past is not a place for us to stay, but a reference for us to go back and see what kind of lesson that we can take in order to make better decisions from now. That is not to say always do things the way that you've done before, but take only the knowledge, only revisit it when we need to have some sort of reference with the decisions that we were about to make right now or for the future. And then the future. I think it is important for us to look forward the future, but that is not to say all we can see is our future and we disregard living in the moment and what is happening to us right now and what we have around us. Because sometimes we can get so ahead of ourselves, as we have ambitions, we have goals of what we want to achieve in the future. And some people's regret is that they fail to enjoy the journey because they move too fast. They have the vision, right, of what they want to do and what they lack right now, instead of noticing what they have right now. And when they look back, then only they realize how precious things used to be. Even in the pursuit of what they want to achieve, And when we look back, we realize how fast time has passed by, and which is why we should remind ourselves from time to time to slow down and be present in the moment. Yeah, it is important for us to have a dream to chase after, but not to the extent that we forget to also experience what you have to enjoy the process of getting there, and most essentially the present, of which I think is the place where we should be the most. Because like I said, the past is just a place for you to revisit when you need a reference, and the future is something for you to look forward to, so you know there is more beyond what is right now. And so it is important for us to be grounded in the present moment and notice the little things and the simple things, which might not be so little when you don't have it anymore. Don't only appreciate it when you lost it. And so I think it is important for us to ground ourselves and not be so stuck on the past or to rush to the future. Because every moment has its own thing uniquely. Because each path has its own moment for us to appreciate and experience where we're at right now. But if it gets too hard in the present, then we can remind ourselves of in the past there are some good memories that we've experienced before, and also there is a possibility for us to experience such good thing again in the future, or even better. And while it is important for us to be grounded in the present, but if the present is not looking so good right now, we can dream and look forward the future instead, because then we can see what is beyond what we can see right now. But if we have a vision and we actively work for and towards it, the actions that we take in the present is actually shaping our future, even if it doesn't happen yet. But the day you plant the seed is not the day you reap. So hope can be found in the future, where we have something to look forward to, knowing that what we're doing right now is meaningful and it leads to a better future that we want for ourselves. And so even what happened in the past, you need to believe that things are happening for you, not happening to you. It is actually leading you to the path that you're meant to be at. And so there's no use dwelling in what was before, because you couldn't see yet. There is better things in store for you. Even if you didn't get what you want, it's only because that was not meant for you. What is meant for you wouldn't miss you. A closed door, you need to close the last chapter of your life. Then it can open more doors for you in the future. And so in the present, even though you feel like shit and you don't feel like doing anything because it's hopeless, and no matter what you do, you think it doesn't matter anyway because it's not going to change anything. But no, we need to act like it even way before we feel like it, because we can't depend on the external circumstances to always go along. Because regardless of the external circumstances, which is beyond our control, frankly, the only thing we can choose is what we do ourselves. And so you need to first believe in yourself and believe that you're capable. And what you're doing right now is actually creating the path that is leading you towards a better future. You need to believe in yourself, because faith will push you towards and motivate you regardless if you hold the discipline, you'll make it happen no matter what. No matter what happens, no matter what you feel, you're still going to do it. And so if you have a clear vision of what you have, you will not accept anything else if it's not what you want yet. I saw this video where someone said, if we're stuck in the past, that is how we get depression. But if we're to hang on to the future, that is how we get anxiety. Because the past, it is something that happened and we can't do anything about it anymore. And so dwelling on it is not going to help us, but only making us feel worse. The future hasn't arrived yet. So even if, no matter how much planning that we do, we still can't determine or be sure 100% or predict the future of how it will become. The only thing we can do right now is be in the present and have faith that things will work out for us and only do our best of what we can do right now. Yeah, sure, you can want better for yourself, but also you need to feel enough even if you're where you're at right now. But also, there's a balance to each of it, as it has its own good and bad. It's only up to us to know how to use it to our advantage and not let it consume too much of us to the extent that we can't fully use all three when we need to apply in different situations. And so we can't be too caught up or only live in one of it, as even if we're too present, we might be impulsive because we don't care. We fail to see the lesson that may have taught us from the past, and we fail to see the plan that we have made for ourselves for the future, and we will neglect the consequences because we don't care or we didn't consider from both points or all points beyond the point that we are at or the headspace that we're in right now. So like I said, the past, you only use it to revisit when you need to, and it is only a place of reference, not a place for you to stay in. Because we can take some insights from the past, right? As it is a real evidence and really what happened to you. And also to recognize the bad patterns so you don't allow it to happen again. So some questions you can ask yourself is, what worked before? What didn't? What mistakes am I repeating right now? Why does this keep happening to me? That is not to say to blame the world, but to reflect within. Because something in you is allowing that to happen. And you haven't fully learned the lesson yet, and which is why it is still happening right now. There's something you need to change in order for it to not anymore. As for the present, it is where things are currently, and the only reality you are experiencing right now, and where you need to take action, whether it's the same or different from the past, in order to shape your future. Because yeah, we can think of the past, we can think of the future, but the present is the only place where you can take action and do something that will actually shape the reality of where you want to be. As for the future, you can use it as a guide, so you can make choices that aligns to the person that you want to become and the reality that you want to shape, the things that you want to have in the future. But it shouldn't prevent you to be present and experience where you are at right now. Because some people, they think, oh, I'll be happy when this happens, when I get this. But they fail to see things to be grateful for with what they have right now, because they have what they want. They only have what they want in their mind, and that is not good, because then it will just drag you along. You will just drag yourself along and feel to step by step, moment by moment, and really appreciate the process of getting there. And when you feel like life is starting to work against you, it's because you're too stuck in one of it. And what you can do next is to think which point of life you can use to actually get yourself out of this, whether it's the reality or the headspace that you're in right now. For example, you're stuck in the past, you're thinking, holding on to it so obsessively. Well, it is easier to live in the memory, because then you don't have to actually actively work for and put yourself out there and be in here, because it takes not only braveness but also a sense of responsibility that you know you play a part in forming in the situation that you got yourself in right now. And also you need to do something for you to not be and take yourself out on a bad situation that you're currently at. But before that, you need to acknowledge that you do play a part in your suffering, and then only you can put effort in making a change towards a better future, but not to the extent that you feel overwhelmed by the future because you're constantly worrying, what if I don't get there? What if things turns out badly and not as I want it to be? What if it's just basically the worst case scenarios. But while you can try to prepare for the future, eventually you need to know when to stop. Because going to extremes, no matter what it is, you need to find a balance and know when you need to come back and stop yourself before it gets too much. You need to know that, oh, this is all I can think of right now, and this is all I can do right now. Beyond that, it is out of my control. So it doesn't matter how obsessive I am towards that thing that hasn't happened yet. There's nothing else I can do except my best in the current moment. And so you need to know when to let go of the past and also when to hold on to the future, but not too tightly, because then you wouldn't have space to allow what is right now and what you might need can't seep in, whether it's from the future or the past, to be able to help you in the present. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you ever feel bad, check in with yourself. Am I too stuck in the past, or to the future, or in the present? And then you can start opening from holding too tightly, whether it's in your head or in your being. Then you can start opening your mind to see which point of life that you need to let in order to get yourself out in where you're feeling stuck right now. And so you don't just see a tunnel vision, but you see from a fuller and wider, a whole perspective. So it can help you to walk towards the tunnel instead of being stuck standing where you're at, or looking back to the road that you've traveled ever since then. Imagine you're standing in a tunnel, and the end of the tunnel, the light is waiting for you there. So you need to take a step towards it further. And so if something emerges from the past, you need to give yourself grace and kindness, and maybe you can sit with, maybe it's telling you something that is why it has brought to your attention and to your mind, because you need to walk through that, process it before you can get past it. So you can ask yourself, what is this memory trying to tell me? Is it trying to teach me something that I can learn from, or something that I need to face so that it doesn't control me anymore? And when you're stuck in the future, you need to take a deep breath and slow down, ground yourself back into the reality. And you can ask yourself, what can I do about this today? and then let it stop there. Just do what you can, and beyond that, it is out of your control. You need to know that you can only do your best, that's all. And the rest, you need to believe that you're heading towards a better future, and believe that things will work out for you. And you're fine where you're at right now. You're meant to be where you're at right now. This journey, you shouldn't look at others and compare yourselves. No, it is your pace towards your path. And so you think, what can I do about this today? And you bring your attention back to the action right now. And you need to let go of what is out of your control. And so if you find yourself lost in the present, you can ask yourself, what kind of future that I want for myself? What kind of vision and a person that I want to become? And what kind of person that I don't want to be anymore? The kind of life that I don't want anymore. And then you use both of those to decide what you want to do right now. And so the past, the present, and the future, let them work together for you, as long as you know how to know what you need to grab from each point of view. Don't let it pull you to either one of it, but you're the one that gets to choose and pick what you need in order to help you and your situation, to decide what you can do and need to do right now, as that is the only point where you can take action. And so, as a general rule of thumb, use the past to understand yourself, use the future to guide yourself, and use the present to become yourself. As now you can rest assured that you can finally let go of the past, having taken what only needs to be taken, the wisdom and the knowledge and the lesson that it has taught you, while the possibility and hope of what can happen in the future exists out there, and it is the direction that you're going to head towards. And so in the present, you still have time, and it is right now your chance to create and become the person that you want to be. As your chance start every time, every morning that you wake up. And even if you ever feel lost or hopeless, you can look towards the future, as it will give you the direction and the possibilities and the hope of where there is more beyond where you're at right now. And so don't let the past chain you, nor the future to chase you. You just, in your heart, know that things are working out in your favor, as you do only what you can right now, and just calmly walk with both beside you, gently leading you towards to become the person you want to be and the future that you want to shape.